Hey everyone, I'm Marsha. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm excited to share another simple recipe with you guys. And today we are making easy apple dumplings. Now this is another older recipe that was handed down to me from my mom, and I used to love helping her make this when I was younger. Number one, because it really is easy to make, but number two, because they taste so good. So I'm excited to share it with you. There is only one thing that I've changed from her original recipe, and I'll tell you about that in the video. But before we get started, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below along with the bell so you never miss when I upload a new video. All right, without further ado, let's jump into the recipe. All right, so here's a quick view of all the ingredients we're going to be using for this recipe, starting with our Granny Smith apple. Then we have some butter, some apple cider, a little bit of cinnamon, and a little bit of sugar, and our crescent rolls. All right, so starting with my Granny Smith apple, I have one apple that I'm just going to go ahead and peel the skin off. Or if you prefer to leave the skin on, you can, but for this recipe, I like to peel the skin off. Once I've done that, I'm gonna go ahead and use my apple cutter to cut down the middle and cut it into 8 even slices, 8 apple slices, and it also cores the center for me. So once I have my 8 apple slices, it's time to move on to the next step, which is the crescent rolls. So I like to keep these crescent rolls in the refrigerator until I need them because they thaw out really quick. And when that dough starts to thaw out, it's hard to kind of maneuver and use it. So make sure you keep it in the refrigerator until it's time to use. And so I'm just gonna unroll the crescent rolls, and I'm gonna take one apple slice and roll it up into each crescent roll. So I'm starting with the big end, and I'm gonna roll it all the way down to the small end of the roll, and then go ahead and tuck that under. And move on to my next apple slice. Once I have all 8 apple slices rolled up into the crescent roll, it's time to go ahead and put it in my baking dish. So I'm using a small baking dish that I've already lightly buttered the bottom and the sides. And I'll put the actual size of this baking dish down in the description box below because I can't remember. But I've buttered the entire dish just a little bit, not that much. And I'm just gonna place each one in there. Now I'm setting this to the side, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a quick sauce. All right, so for the sauce, I'm gonna grab a small saucepan and I'm gonna melt 6 tablespoons of butter. After my butter is melted, I'm gonna add a half a cup of sugar. And I'm just gonna stir that sugar in the butter until it's mostly dissolved. That'll only take a couple of minutes. And I have this on medium-low heat because I don't want anything to burn. Once my sugar is dissolved in the butter, I'm gonna go ahead and add some cinnamon. So I have a half of a teaspoon of cinnamon that I'm just gonna add in, and I'm gonna stir that in with the sugar. At this point, I am turning the heat all the way off as well. And then I'm going to add my apple cider juice, not apple cider vinegar, guys, apple cider juice. And the apple cider juice is actually what is the difference between this recipe and the traditional or original recipe that I got from my mom, because the original recipe uses Mountain Dew. Yes, Mountain Dew. I don't know why, but it does. But I've changed it to apple cider juice. And so I'm just gonna slowly pour that in a little bit at a time. And while you're pouring it in, make sure you're stirring as well, because you don't want that sugar to get hard either, which can happen over time. So just make sure you're just continuing to stir everything together. Once you have all of your apple cider juice stirred in, all of the sugar is dissolved and everything is mixed together perfectly, it's time to pour this sugar mixture over our apple dumplings. So just take your time pouring this sugar mixture over the apple dumplings and around the sides of the dish. And then when you're done, it'll look a little something like this. And then it's time to bake. So we're gonna bake this in a 350-degree oven for between 30 and 35 minutes. So depending on your oven, make sure you check it around the 30-minute mark. I like to go maybe to about 35 minutes just to make sure it's golden brown. All right, guys, so after it is done, you can go ahead and take it out. Let those dumplings rest for about 10 minutes to allow it to, number one, cool off, but also to allow that sauce to thicken up, because we're gonna pour and drizzle some of that sauce over our apple dumplings when we get ready to serve it. So allow it to sit and cool and thicken up. And then it's time to serve. So of course this tastes so good with vanilla ice cream. I didn't actually have any today, but I suggest you grab some for this recipe. And so just plate how many ever apple dumplings you want. Get a spoon and scoop up a little bit of that sauce and drizzle it over the top. And you guys, you have a super easy and delicious quick apple dumplings dessert. I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. And if you happen to make it, make sure you come back, leave me a comment down below. But this is it. This is easy apple dumplings. All right, friends, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a big thumbs up down below. Again, as always, the full measurements and recipe is always listed down below in the description box. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below along with the bell so you never miss when I upload a new video. All right, until next time, friends, I'll see you later.